Hey, welcome to Science Today. I am Adrian, and today my friend Omar and I will be talking about several interesting news that came up in the last few weeks, starting with some fast flash news from my friend Omar.
For our first flash news, we have on medicine that researchers discovered a molecule that can reverse antibiotic resistance in germs, and that doctors have cured leukemia with genetically engineered immune cells. For some space news, we have that astronomical measurements are released that point towards an undiscovered sector in physics.
Last Thursday, on January 26th, scientists announced that they created the first successful human-animal hybrid, proving that human cells can be introduced into a non-human organism, survive, and even grow, in this case, inside a pig, creating human tissue within the animal. This was done with the hope of reducing the shortage of donor human organs, as they could possibly be developed within these animals for the constant supply of them. Actually, scientists had already thought that they could be able to use the organs of a pig for transplants, as they are almost the same size as a human organ. However, they couldn't prevent the human immune system from rejecting animal tissue, so the idea of producing a hybrid for this purpose surged. It was finally done by an international team of researchers led by the Salk Institute, when they created what is known as a chimera, an organism containing cells from two different species through this process. There actually exist two methods for doing such thing. The first one is to introduce an animal's organs into another, but this option turned out to be extremely risky, as the host immune system could reject the external organ. Therefore, scientists tried to make a chimera through other method, one at an embryonic level, which involves introducing an animal's cells into the other's embryo, letting them grow together into a hybrid. At first, a professor of the Salk Institute's Gene Expression Laboratory, called Juan Carlos Ispizua Belmonte, thought that it was actually possible, and it in fact was. Also, it took him more than 40 collaborators, 1,500 pig embryos, and 4 years to finally achieve it. For this to happen, scientists first created a rat-mouse hybrid by introducing rat cells into a mouse embryos to see if animals could develop with another species' DNA. Then, they genetically edited out part of the mouse DNA that corresponded to the growth of organs so that the rat DNA would fill in the gaps, which actually turned out to be successful, forming rat organs within a mouse. The same team then came with the idea of introducing human cells in pigs, but as pigs have a gestation period that is only 1/3 as long as humans, cells required placing with perfect timing to match the development stage of the animal. Nevertheless, the human cells survived and finally formed a human pig embryo, which was then implanted into a sow and allowed to develop for between 3 or 4 weeks. And now, the scientists are planning to genetically edit the pig embryos so they can produce organs, expecting the gaps to be filled by human DNA, in the same way as the mice experiments. Either way, this is a promising step forward to reducing organ shortage nowadays, which we consider is a good alternative as long as they do not depend completely in this method, as who knows what effect this could have in an ecosystem.
We have good news for the environment, again, as there is a possibility for the state of Massachusetts to have all of its power from a renewable source by 2035, as three lawmakers have proposed a bill for the state to rely on renewable energy. It also states that by 2050, they will stop fossil fuel consumption for the transportation and heating sectors. Shangar Valley, the current Massachusetts state representative, has called this a bold step to put the state on a path to a cleaner and more sustainable future. It signals to the country our commitment to long-term solutions in meeting the very real challenges of climate change. The good news for the state to end there, as this has brought jobs and some health and environmental benefits for the state. This is going to be something interesting for the future, as President Trump and his cabinet doubt the truthness of climate change. In other news, the world's most powerful laser has been created through a collaboration between HILASE, the High Average Power Pulse User, which is a Czech state research and development project, and the Pretend Central Laser Facility. This super laser has the ability to harden metal surfaces, processing semiconductors and micromachine material, which have the potential to revolutionize engineering in aeronautics, power, and automotive industries. The average power output is of 1000 watts, which is a milestone for sustained high energy pulses, that dwarfs in comparison the previous lasers of Osaka and Texas. John Collier, the director of the Central Laser Facility, told AFP that it is a world record, which is important, but it's more important that this is the underlying technology that has been developed here and is going to transform the application of these high-power, high-energy lasers. Have you ever dreamed of the day when you can just relax and enjoy a car ride without having to worry of actually driving? Well, you don't have to worry. As in a recent tweet, Tesla CEO Elon Musk wrote that cars with full self-driving capabilities will arrive in the next 3 to 6 months. As Tesla has been making improvements to both enhance autopilot system and its hardware, which would transition into self-driving technology, so this timeline seems doable for the cutting-edge company Tesla. It is no surprise that Tesla has made some considerable improvements to the autopilot software over the past year. These improvements have made the software more effective and have decreased car crashes by a rate of 40%. With 94% of crashes attributed to human error, if Tesla can get their system perfected, it could save thousands of lives each year. Given all the improvements the electric car company has already made to its system, 6 months tops to get a full Level 4 autonomy seems doable. In addition, Elon Musk announced earlier that hardware improvements on Tesla's cars will come at a more aggressive rate. Well, this has been everything for the week. Thank you for watching. All the links to the current news will be on the description below, and have a nice weekend.